If you've clicked on this video, chances are you're probably struggling with the exact same problem that kills 95% of other mobile apps out there. And that problem is maximizing the LTV of every single user. If users are downloading your app, using it one time, and then never coming back, your LTV is going to be extremely low, causing you to leave thousands of dollars on the table. Most founders think success is about getting more and more downloads. And it is, but the high quality downloads matter the most, will bring you more LTV over time. The real money is in getting users to stay and keep paying you month after month. Otherwise, you're just filling up a bucket with 100 holes in it. And this is the reason why I've seen apps with only 10,000 downloads make much more money than apps with hundreds of thousands of downloads. The difference is user lifetime value. When I first started building apps, I had no idea about user retention. Users would download my app, try it one time, and then leave and never come back. I was basically running a very expensive user acquisition campaign with zero return. But then I learned the LTV framework that I'm going to share with you in this video. These are the same strategies that I used to take my app from $3K all the way to $44,000 per month in monthly recurring revenue. So whether you're still sketching out your app idea or you've already launched, this blueprint will show you how to build a successful app that maximizes every single user's LTV. From attracting users who are likely to stay to designing a user experience that keeps them using your product for a long, long time. The tactics that I'm going to show you in this video are going to work whether you have 100 users or 100,000 users. Let's get into it. Okay, so here we have it, the blueprint for increasing and maximizing your users' lifetime value. This is the most important metric in your app. We are going to go from the marketing to optimize your onboarding, to optimize your paywall, to optimizing user retention, and all of the small little details in between. And if you want this document, it's going to be in the description, free to download, so go check that out. But let's jump into it. But first, before we get into the nitty gritty, we need to understand exactly what your LTV is and why it's important. LTV is the lifetime value of your customers. Let's say, for example, your app costs $10 a month as a subscription. If users stick around for 4 months on average, your average LTV is $40. We want to get this LTV number as high as possible because the higher your LTV is, the more you can spend on acquiring users and the higher your profit margins are. For example, if you know that your average LTV is $40 and you start running ads on Facebook or TikTok and you can acquire a subscriber for $20, you're putting $20 into the paid ads and you're getting 40 out on the other side. That is a 2x return. And if you can do that consistently, you've built a money printer. The tricky part is there's so many small things that go into optimizing your users' LTV, but we're going to get into each one of those in this video. So starting from marketing, we must attract the high intent users because there are different types of users who come into your app with no real intention of trying it out or paying for anything. They just want a free experience. And then on the flip side, we have the high intent users who are looking to use your app to solve their problems. And these are the people we're going after. And these different groups of users, low quality, high intent, low intent, we're going to call these different cohorts of users. And you need to be marketing already to really understand these cohorts, right? So if you're doing marketing on TikTok or you're doing marketing with an influencer or on Instagram or Google Ads, all of those are different cohorts and each one of them is going to have an associated value with them. Maybe the users from TikTok are super high quality and the ones you're getting from Google Ads have no intent and none of those users are purchasing any of the in-app purchases inside your app. So it's very, very important that we track these cohorts. And before we get into all this, here is the overall flow that we're going to be looking at, right? Here are different cohorts of users from TikTok, Instagram, Google Ads. These are examples right here. And all of these different cohorts are obviously going to go into your onboarding and then your paywall and then your retention. And you can track all of the users that have come from TikTok and go through your onboarding, paywall, and retention. And all of these users are going to have some sort of average value. And same with the Instagram users and same with the Google Ads users and same the users that you get from influencer content. You need to be tracking each one of these cohorts because that way you're going to understand which cohort is the most valuable and where you should be spending your money. It could be TikTok ads, it could be Google ads, it could be any one of these. And also more importantly, at a deeper level, you're going to have different TikTok videos. So within this cohort, you might have video 1, video 2, video 3. And from each one of those videos, you might get higher intent users. Let's say in video 1, you're tackling one pain point. In video 2, you're tackling another. Which one of those pain points drove more high intent users? And it's so important for you to have a pulse on these different cohorts. For example, when I was promoting puff count on TikTok, I knew that this video drove very high intent users. From this video, we got tens of thousands of downloads and a ton of paid signups. So I knew that this video converted very well. This video converted much better than this video, for example, where I was talking about vaping, shrinking your balls. in public interview style of content. This one didn't drive many users who were purchasing, but this video where I took apart a vape and showed people what was inside, this drove very high intent users. And it's so important that you know this, because now I know that I can spend money on this video and obtain high quality users. So you're going to want to compare the LTV across these cohorts of different users. And again, use that data to double down and spend money where it's most profitable. And look, organic marketing is only going to be so effective. When you start to run paid ads on some of this content that you have generated on TikTok, Instagram, or wherever, it's going to become so much easier, because using an MMP like AppsFlyer or Adjust, you can start to optimize and target specific event-based conversions, such as your install, your trial, or your subscription. And optimizing for these different events will affect the value of each one of these installs. If we're only optimizing for installs, for example, these users that we're optimizing for might not be high intent and they might not subscribe. But if we're optimizing for a subscription-based event, these are users that TikTok ads or Facebook ads have deemed high intent users who are more likely to convert on a subscription. So in an ideal world, when you're running paid ads, you want to optimize for the furthest thing down the funnel, which is a subscription. Now, another important way to conduct marketing and attract high intent users is to use Google ads. You can target search terms, keywords, competitor brand names, etc. Because if people are searching for a solution on Google, they are very, very high intent. And hand in hand with that is App Store optimization for organic high intent installs. If people are searching on Google or the App Store for the solution and your app appears, you are going to attract so many high intent users. So leverage these if you can. App Store optimization is very tricky. It's very competitive. But the beautiful thing is with Google search and App Store search, you can actually pay to show up at the top of these search results. Okay, so we've covered the marketing, and now we are going to move into the onboarding. Now, the onboarding is so important, because it is the user's first experience with their app. And you can use the onboarding in a very strategic way to further increase your LTV or further increase the intent of each user. First, they start in the marketing phase, right? Here from TikTok or Instagram, and they might be low intent. They might be just coming in to check out the app and see what it's all about. And they might not have a ton of conviction when downloading your app. This, in the onboarding, is your chance to build that conviction. And the way we do that is by walking the user through their own problem and getting the user to commit to a specific outcome. For example, on my quit vaping app, Puff Count, we would make the user commit to a quit date as soon as possible. If you make the user commit to a transformation, they will be much more likely to stick around and use your product. And by walking the user through their own problem, you're making them think more about the pain that they're experiencing. You're making them commit to a specific outcome to solve that pain. And once you've done those two things, you can present to them the aha moment, aka how you're going to solve that problem. And you can even take this a step further, and you can build a dynamic onboarding, and you can have different user flows. So if they answer yes to a specific question, you can take them into a different branch of the onboarding and push them there. For example, if they're male or female and you have a different experience based on gender, you can present two different experiences to those different genders. And the most important part of your onboarding is tracking the metrics. I dropped a full video on onboarding and how to build the perfect onboarding and how to track all the metrics. That link will be in the description if you want to check it out. And the quickest way to optimize your onboarding is to learn from the apps who do it the best. And to learn from the best apps, you can use this site, which will show you literally screen by screen the exact onboarding flow that the top apps in the stores are using. For example, this app is doing $300,000 per month in monthly recurring revenue. And we can actually click into this and we can view each one of their individual onboarding screens. This site has so many different apps. You can type in any one you want. For example, let's type in Duolingo, and we can go to Duolingo. We can see Duolingo's exact onboarding screen. And guess what? Duolingo has spent millions and millions of dollars optimizing their onboarding, and it is shown to you right here. So go type in apps in your niche here on this website, and you can learn from what they are doing best. But for the purposes of this video, let's move on to the paywall. One of the most important parts of maximizing your LTV. The most important part of your paywall is to, number one, use Superwall, because Superwall is the best tool for you to A/B test your paywalls without pushing app updates. It makes building and A/B testing your paywalls so much easier, so much quicker. And our main goal here is to optimize our paywall for conversion. We can A/B test all these different things with paywall. We can A/B test the wording, the design, the social proof, discounts, or countdown timers if we wanted to get crazy with it, right? Here is an example of the paywalls that I A/B tested with Puff Count. I A/B tested every small element in these paywalls. I tested the wording, the pricing. I tested offering multiple different price points. I A/B tested the wording on the button, certain emojis on the screen, the social proof from different users and their reviews. You can A/B test absolutely everything on your paywall to maximize the percentage of people who convert when they do hit your paywall. And it's very important that you A/B test every one of these things one at a time. You want to use the scientific method, because if you change 4 different things on your paywall at the same time and you see an increase or decrease in the conversion rate, you don't know what actually made that change. So only change one thing at a time in your paywall when you are A/B testing. And the most important part is we want to optimize the pricing for the highest LTV. Superwall does all this for you, and Superwall will actually tell you what the LTV is for each user at each price point. So if you're testing a $4 weekly subscription versus a $10 weekly subscription, Superwall will actually track the LTV of the users in each one of those cohorts. It will present 50% of the users that $4 option and 50% of the users that $10 option. And it will tell you which one is the most profitable. So you want to A/B test all sorts of different prices on the high end and the lower end, and you are going to land at the most optimal price point, which will drive you the highest LTV. And what you can also do is build a drip funnel to capture the people who will not purchase. And the way you do this is you present them a discount. And the paywall is one of those places where you're going to see the most significant drop off. For example, with Puff Count, we had around a 20% conversion on the paywall, which means 80% of the users dropped off without paying. That made us take a huge hit on the LTV, so we knew we had to solve that problem. And the way we did it was through a discount campaign through a drip funnel. So if someone didn't convert on our paywall, we would send them an offer, and it was like, let's say 30% off. So we knew if they clicked the X button or left the app for a certain period of time after they hit the paywall, let's call it 2 minutes, we would send them a push notification that offered a 30% discount. A handful of users took this. Great, we captured that lost value, but some of them didn't. So if we send them a push notification for the 30% discount and they still don't convert, let's say after another 10 minutes or an hour or whatever it is, boom, we can now offer them a 50% discount. And you can keep offering bigger discounts, because guess what? If the user doesn't convert, they're lost value. So you might as well offer them an insane discount just to capture that extra little bit of value. And finally, we arrive at optimizing the retention in your app. And this is the most complex problem to solve, because every app is different. There's no one set solution to optimize the retention in your app. It really does come down to the quality of your app and how well it solves a user's problem. So what I can say is the most important time in your app is the first 1 to 5 minutes that the users have in your app. So after they go past your paywall and they opt in for a free trial or they pay or whatever it is, the first 1 to 5 minutes is going to tell you a lot. Because what we saw in Puff Count was users were most likely to cancel their subscription or their trial in the first 1 to 5 minutes. If they stuck around for more than 5 minutes, they were likely to stick around for a long, long time. So what we did when the user first came into the app, we tried to deliver as much value as possible. If you can, deliver that aha moment again. This makes sense. I know how to use the app now, right? And the way we did that was we walked the user through their journey. We made them set up a quit plan. We made them commit to a date. We showed them how to use the app. We showed them all the features in the app. And this way, when the user entered the app, they weren't lost and they weren't like, forget this. I'm just going to go cancel my subscription right now. No, we gave them things to do in the first 1 to 5 minutes of the app. Again, the most important window for retaining users. So you want to occupy the user. You want to familiarize them with your app's features. And what you can also do to keep users around is you can add friction, or you can create this sense of loss if they stop using your app. You see some of the most popular apps in the world like Snapchat do this, right? In Snapchat, you can create memories. You save photos to your memories folder. So if you delete Snapchat, those memories are gone for forever. Same with Puff Count. We had a total Puffs tracker and we had your quit plan. So if you deleted Puff Count and you lost that, you lost your streaks. You lost all of your lifetime stats. We made it as painful as possible to fully delete the app. And another thing you can do to optimize the retention after the paywall is you can implement push notification campaigns. In the first 1 to 7 days, you want to build a user habit with these push notifications. You want to get them back into the app and using it as frequently as possible. So there you have it. From the marketing to the onboarding to the paywall to the user retention in your app, you can optimize all sorts of small little things to increase the overall LTV of each one of your users. If you're interested in building or scaling a mobile app, I dropped a full 50-minute masterclass on absolutely everything I know about building, scaling, and exiting mobile apps. That's going to be here if you want to watch it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you got some value. And if you have any questions or you want to talk to me directly, you can always shoot me a DM on Instagram at steven.builds. I will always get back to you there. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.